morning. Today is Thursday, Tes Elul, Tavshin Ein Daled. We are in Teres Menachem Sefer Mamar Tavshin Yud Aleph Tavshin Yud Beis. We are beginning a new Maimer today on page Shin Lamed Beis 332 from Sunday Pashas Pinchas Yud Gimel Tammuz Tavshin Yud Beis. Nosato Lireiecho Neis Lihis Noiseis Mipnei Koishet Sela. This is a pasuk in Tilim, chapter 60, which means, well, he actually says what it means in the first part, but Nosato, you've given Lireiecho to those that fear you. You've given them Neis. For what purpose? For what reason? Lihis Noiseis. Neis could either mean a test or it could mean miracles. These noises could either mean to test them or to lift them. We'll see in a minute. Mipnei koishet sela, because of koishet forever. Koishet means truth. So let's see what this means. So maybe kveit kedushas meiri v'chami admur, and my father-in-law brings in his maimer with the same opening. Pirush Targum, the definition of the Targum v'od mefarshim and other commentators. Shetoichnoi, the crux of the definition of the Targum and the other commentators is sheneis koya alina nisyonis. Neis is a reference to the idea of tests, trials. V'neis lihis noises, tests in order lihis noises. What does it mean? Tests in order to lift. Meaning, hainu shahanisyonis poelim remimus. This means that tests have the effect of lifting. They affect a lifting in the ones that are tested. Where do we have the strength to withstand the tests and be lifted through the tests as a result of withstanding them? Hume Avraham Avinu. This stems from Avraham Avinu, Avraham our father. Shehu mipnei koishet sela. This is the meaning of mipnei koishet sela, because of koishet, the truth, sela, forever. Shekoishet koya al Avraham. Koishet is a reference to Avraham. Why is koishet, truth, a reference to Avraham? He doesn't explain, but it says something. It says in Kabbalah, I think it's brought Chassidus as well. Quite sure it's brought Chassidus as well. There's a pasuk in Shir Hashirim which says, "Toshuri meirosh amona." You shall see from the head of Amona. Shlomo Melech talks about the Yidden coming back from Golus and seeing from the head, seeing the boundaries of Israel. That's one definition. The other definition is that you shall see from the beginning of the faithful one. That's another explanation. Who was the faithful one? The first faithful one? Meirosh Amona, the first faithful one, was Avraham. Vehem in Bahashem. Right? Avraham Avinu was the faithful one. He was the first one to discover Hashem on his own, and he believed in Hashem. So he's called the Reish Amana, the first believer, as it were. Teshuri, Meirosh Amana, if you have a look at the word Teshuri, is Tov, Meirosh is Mem, Amana is Aleph. That spells the word Emes in reverse. So Koishet, be that as it may, Koishet, Emes refers to Avraham. So in other words, according to this pshat, it means that Hashem gives those who fear Him tests, trials with which to lift them, and they have the strength to withstand these tests. They draw on the strength of Avraham, who obviously also had tests and withstood those tests. Now this definition of this pasuk, of this verse, is not a contradiction to the simple meaning of the verse. You could define it simply. Nes is, usually we know what the word nes means, what? Miracle. So the way of defining it simply would mean that Hashem performs miracles for those who fear Him. What does it mean? What does the hisnoises mean? To lift. Who gets lifted as a result of Hashem showing miracles to those who fear Him? It means that through the miracles that Hashem shows, this causes a lifting in all of the Yidden, in all of Israel. And in particular, Lireiecho, to those that fear Hashem. So that's the first part of the pasuk. Nosato Lireiecho, you show those who fear you miracles in order to lift them. And the effect of miracles in the world is for your truth forever, meaning to say, Hainu, through a miracle, what's drawn down and what is revealed is the truth of Hashem forever. Because when a miracle is performed, you see obvious godliness in front of your eyes. In the usual course of things, you could think, as the Rebbe is going to explain, you can make a mistake that there is no one running the show, as it were, no one running the world. But when there's a miracle, which defies the normal course of things, it's clear that the truth of Hashem becomes revealed in the world. Now the Rebbe goes on to explain it. So the bottom line is, to sum up, one way of defining the pasuk is that Hashem gives those who fear Him tests in order to lift them, and the strength to withstand those tests we draw from Avraham Avinu, the first one to be tested, the truthful one. The other taich is that Hashem performs miracles for those who fear Him in order to lift them, and the effect of the miracles is to bring the truth of Hashem into worlds. Chapter 2. To explain this idea that through miracles what is drawn down into the world is this aspect of the truth of Hashem forever, or the truth of Hashem in worlds. What is a miracle? A miracle is the opposite of nature. The teva, because nature nature is the idea of the world conducting itself as usual. The normal course of things, the natural course of things. The ad, to such an extent, does the world conduct itself in a normal, routine manner, in a usual routine manner, and a predictable routine manner, that one can actually think that the world is like a city without a leader. But through a miracle, which is the idea of confusing, shattering the systems, the normal systems. And it's the idea of changing the normal system of nature. This a miracle awakens the person who contemplates this. Because it awakens the person who contemplates and analyzes and what's the idea? What's the word for someone who, like a spectator, somebody who sees something happening? The person who contemplates this and a person who observes this, yes, precisely, who observes the miracle, so it awakens him to think about Hashem. The kasher nesu gadol, and if the miracle is a big one, ein tzarich afilu bizbaranos. The bigger the miracle, the less observation, the less contemplation you need to see that it's from the Eibishter. V'roya, and you see the miracle causes you to see sheyesh manig lebira, that there is a director, a leader, a conductor to this city, to the world. So that's the idea of a miracle. To understand more deeply the idea of what is drawn down, what is brought about through the idea of through miracles. In Isa Gemara, the Gemara says, the Talmud says in Tractate Shabbos, Al Yamid Odom b'Mokim Sakana. A person should not stand in a place of danger and say, I'm not worried because Hashem will make a miracle for me. Why? Because Shema ein esin leinas. Perhaps a miracle will not be performed for him. And the Gemara goes on, V'im esin leinas. And if they do make a miracle for him, if Hashem performs a miracle for him, menakin le'mizuchu Yosef. They deduct it from his merits. Meaning to say, if a person has merits, and a person is in a situation of danger, it is possible that they deduct from his merits to perform the miracle for him. So the Rebbe touches this. It's understood from this. That the idea of a miracle is similar to the idea for a reward of a mitzvah. Why? Because from this Talmud it seems that the person is given one or two. One of the two. Either a reward for the mitzvah, or we take the merit for which he deserves a reward, and we turn it in. Hashem turns it into what? Into a miracle. So now, from understanding the reward of a mitzvah, we can understand what a nes is. The idea of the reward of a mitzvah, Yuvam, will be understood according to that which is written in the sefer called Emek HaMelech, which was written by one of the Talmidim, one of the students of the Arizal, where he transcribes the teachings of the Arizal, a lot of stories from the Arizal, and so on and so forth. Shakavana, what does he say over there? Shakavana hi shalidei teiro mitzvahs. What is the idea of a mitzvah? The idea of a mitzvah is what's the intent of a mitzvah? What's the purpose of a mitzvah? That through Torah and mitzvahs, through Torah and mitzvahs, there should be the drawing down of Hashem's infinite light from before the constriction. That it should be revealed. It should shine in a revealed manner in our worlds. In our world. What does it mean? That explains the creation of the world. What's through the constriction? Through the contraction. Hashem removed, as it were, the Ein Sof. And then he drew down a short and thin line of godliness. So therefore, in our state of consciousness, what we have after creation is a very fine and thin, as it were, limited revelation of godliness. But the intent of creation is that through the performance of learning of Torah and performance of mitzvahs, we should draw down also Hashem's divine light, which is before the contraction.